Well, guys, this is Wayne, Midnight Think Tank. Today is Tuesday, June 13th, 2017. What we're going to be talking about is going to take a lot of your breaths away, if you don't already know that is. The first 5 pages that you see here, guys, is the intro, and I'm trying to get basic information on all the YouTubes. That's what the first 5 pages are. If I say that a few times out of them, then it's going to come norm. So when I change one, I'm going to be changing them all. But as I change one, it's going to end up going, change it, and then when it's ready for the next one to be changed, and I'll just redo that one. Right now, this one I'm going to redo, and I'm going to upload it. But in the meantime, what's going to restart this economy? The United States of America is Iraq's money. Iraq is going to be a 3,000% area return. The Iraq dinar, pre-Saddam, it's used to take approximately $3.50 American dollars to buy one Iraqi dollar. When it went to war over there to take Saddam out of power, when we went, I gotta fix that later. Saddam out of power, it was approximately $2.50 to 1 US. But when it returns, it will be a 3,000% area return. But you have to get out of the Rothschild FDIC banking, guys. The banking has created all this issue. Do you really want to put your money in that system they've been worshiping Satan all this time? It's your choice. I'm not. Alright, in order for an evil man to achieve his main objective, they had to create diversions in conversational answers in any number of ways so as to redirect questions into a different directions, allowing the questioner to forget his train of thought in changing true constitutional systems that were already in place and trusted by we the people. Like the United States of America was changed to the United States Corporation in the Act of 1871. And then the United States Corporation statutes were replaced with International CARCA 1933. It's not law, but they call it law, of the United Nations. You heard me right. The CFR, the United Nations. Remember Hillary stated in one of her YouTubes, she gets her marching orders from the CFR. That's what she said. CFR stands for Council on Foreign Relations. The United Nations was created by the Vatican. The United Nations is the one world government. If you haven't figured that out by the name, United Nations, the Pope created the one world government. This all goes back to the Roman days, the very beginning. It never went away. The Vatican employees, the popes, are the head kingpin to this whole one world government and all this crap that's been going on, the fraud, the wars, everything. God says you'll know my people by what they do. And if you do a little homework, you're going to Google it, just type in things and they're going to pop up. There's already been enough internet stuff. Nobody's going to have a problem finding stuff. Okay, that it's roots that go back to the Roman days, but they never stopped from back then. The Vatican employees created the United Nations, which is the one world government, but remember, God said, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. And that clothing is the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz, is the Antichrist, is the creator to the United Nations, one world government, international CARCA, 1933, which means we are already under the United Nations control as of 1933. So our public servants sold their soul and sold us out to Satan's workers. Just Google Pizzagate and Hillary Bill were majorly involved, along with public servants all over the place, as well as unelected corporate CEOs. And what you are reading below is their way of twisting facts and making you think that you are electing them to do is protect you. Now, did you elect the United Nations? Nope, I didn't. Power of suggestion is confusing because we do not talk with many dictionaries coming out of our mouth. So when you see the intended italicized blue letters with Wayne in front, you know that I'm trying to attempt to make clear to you, those that need help, in case you do not comprehend it. There's a lot that's going to get this, but for all the rest of the videos, this intro has to be there, guys, because I was trying to figure out a general way to say things, but this is going to take at least the first couple of minutes to each video to deal with. And let's see where we're at minutes. I can't see what minute we're at right now. So this has to be a must to get the word out, because not everybody's going to see every video. December 9th, 1945, International Organizations Immunities Act relinquished every public office of the United States, that's the United States Corporation, to the United Nations. Now, there's a lot going on here, guys. The United States of America was turned into the United States Corporation. We also have public officials back there turning things around. How successful they're going to be, we don't know how far down this rabbit hole we're going. This act was all a RICO Act, racketeering. You look it up, and actually the definitions are at the bottom of this YouTube. You will find all the definitions for about 12 fraudulent laws and what they're doing, and that's just some of them. Okay, the scope of the authority may be explicitly defined by Congress or to be limited by delegated legislation, properly exercised through the rule-making power. Rule-making? See, corporations cannot make law, guys. Only Congress can make law. The Congress that we elect. This is what they're saying. Okay? Rule-making power. They're telling you right there it's not law. They'll blend it in to be law, but they still have to throw these words out there for you. I'm just skimming through this stuff so you can see this. We're going to go back up so you can just read everything. Unauthorized, unconstitutional, the corporate fictitious entity of 1871. Unauthorized, unconstitutional movement in meaning the United States Corporation away from Constitution. Unauthorized, unconstitutional funds allowing unelected people, allow UN unconstitutional authorizations. Unauthorized, unconstitutional, etc., etc., times a million things. There's a whole pile of stuff that they have manipulated off of our backs. And we have, you, me, have funded all of this. But unauthorized, unconstitutional equals fraud has zero expiration date. This is the biggest fraud and racketeering in history of this planet. Remember, God stated, at the end of time I will pour my spirit into my people to fight the fight. And what are we doing right now, guys? Now, this YouTube is about something you're going to find very interesting. When you go into the courts, when you go to the administrative courts and anything of the administration, which is our legal system. See, the corporation came in 1871, and it needed to make a sub-corporation, which means our legal system. All of our legal systems are corrupt, and they're corporations. So they've been sitting here making corporations, and these corporations have been making laws. State legislature. First of all, legislate is a very simple term of making something happen. But if the state legislatures have been making law, how is it we elected Congress to do that job? And only Congress can do that job. It's because of the Act of 1871. And you and I, we never pushed back. Now, here's the thing: if you ever go into jail, they have to get you to contract with them. Do not contract at all. You are not contracting. If you sign anything, sign nothing, you're not contracting. You do not contract. Do not consent to medical treatment or give blood. Do not pay any money into their courts, not even candy. Do not allow them to serve you papers unless you need them. That's a tricky one. You see, they can say, oh, we told you about this. Well, so what? You're a corporation. You're out of jurisdiction. You have no jurisdiction over the people unless you give it to them through contracting. So do not verbally consent in court. That's contracting. An unconstitutional way in their administrative court. Do not get intimidated. They are the ones committing federal treason of acts of RICO. You tell them they will get a Title 42, Title 18 in their personal capacity, along with RICO acts. There's a number of things that they're doing, and you have to let them know that you know what you know, and you have to file papers under the same court record you have, that you're going after the judge, and you don't tell them to just say to punch your chest. You got to actually file some papers against the fraud. You got to know that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Article 6, second paragraph. They can make no law outside the Constitution, or it has no standing. Article 6, second paragraph. Now, as a result to this intro is over. Now we're going to start to the area that you're not going to probably believe, but that's okay. You'll get over it. That's right. All B.A.R members are foreign agents of Crown. They took out the original 13th Amendment, which you'll see here in a second. They took out the original 13th Amendment so they can bring in the lawyers. These are Europe's laws, guys. This is what they call law. But Congress can be the only one to do that. And Congress better be doing it under the Constitution. Well, we push back. See, Lawyers say that they have authority to be in a courtroom, and they do not. Lawyers and their supposed authority. I have no way to copy and paste this. It's a video, so you're going to have to pause it and copy things. There's no legislative act of law that gave lawyers congressional authority to walk into courtrooms with any authority. Lawyers are saying in August 28, 1878 is when they were given authority to walk into courtrooms using the Act of July 13, 1866, Section 9, Statute 14,121, blah, blah, blah. Now let me show you something here, guys. Statute. Statute is a kind of a generic term. You can read it right here. This right here, this black, is the definition of Black's Law. Black's Law is the trusted dictionary for the Constitution. This explains statute. It is in version 5. There's version 5 right here. Guys, Black's Law is the correct dictionary, but they started messing with it in version 6 area. Now, as you can see, and I'm gonna go through the 5-second rule. I'm just going through and just doing this and explaining stuff so you can have a clue. When I get down to the bottom of this, we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go back to the top, come back down every 5 seconds, and I'll be quiet at that point. There have been 2 governments running, and the constitutional is one government, and of commerce is the other government. They cannot mix. Do not mix. But since our lacking in knowledge, because we don't know what the law is, they have been able to pull the wool over our eyes and commit federal treason on the backs of the American people, you and me. The definition is from Black's Law, and it shows they are using a generic word for both commerce and the Constitution on the front of what they use to mislead your reading and you believe is law. Because an official, your public servant, is lying to you. Just look at the number after the word statute, 1421. Nowhere in the Constitution is there a number that is formed this way. So they put a word into sentence and may be correct, but the trailing end of it turns into your code and policy. Guys, they use statutes but put an incorrect number after statutes because that's of commerce only, not the Constitution. They have been lying to us. This is the biggest organized crime in history. There is no such law with congressional authority. So since corporations' unelected board of directors is not of Congress, how did they make constitutional law? They did not and cannot. They made corporate policy and code only. They lived and deceived us. The Act of July 13th, 1866, Section 9, Statute 14,121, meaning the statute administered the constitutional fix. Hello? Are you getting that? They play with words. They put statutes in one hand and then they lead it off into the statute is of commerce, and the words or the letters 14,121 is not in the Constitution, but you will find it under the commerce. Article 6.2 of the Constitution is very clear. Right here. This guy right here. Read this guy. It is very clear. They can make no law outside the Constitution, or it has no standing. I hope you're seeing this, guys. I hope you're seeing it. You're going to read this, but now here we go. So 2 men came from here, from England. That was not of the Constitution, all because they needed to pay a note back to England. The original 13th Amendment they pulled out. In the red letters there you see the original 13th Amendment. And I typed this. But before you naysayers actually start having big question marks because I typed it, you might want to hold on to your britches a second, because you're about to see something. You compare those two. It is word for word. That is the original Article 13 of the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what they took out through the Act of 1871. This is organized crime at its finest. The word United States means a federal corporation. Now notice something. This is under U.S. Code, USC. So that's where it means a federal corporation, because it's in their own statutes. You can look that up. Now here's the big kicker. This is my favorite. This guy right here. Title 18, U.S. Code, subsection 242. Just in case you don't know, that's an S on top of another S. Subsection, deprivation of rights under color of law. It's not law, it's color of law. Just look up, just Google it. You're going to find it. It's under color of law. Guys, fraud has no expiration dates. 0. There's no such thing as corporate law. A corporation cannot create law because a corporation is only a fictitious entity, a piece of paper with words on it, created by the Vatican's employees, making it policy and code only, not law. It was created by the unelected board of directors through our ignorance. And it is not the judicial of Congress that we the people elected. Only Congress, flesh and blood people we elect, can create constitutional law. What they're doing is state statutes are not law. They are of commerce. It's the agreements of commerce. Back when they did the UCC, I believe it's Universal Commercial Code. That was all the leaders of the country got together and said, look, we need to come up with a comprehensive agreement, and UCC was it, and so they can all do business together. And so that's what UCC is. But here in the United States, in 1871, to pay back a note to England, they come over here and 80% of the people area is sitting in jails right now, and they're not supposed to be there. They're not following due process. They're not following any of this. You literally have. This is the biggest organized crime in history, guys. You're going to see bar attorneys here. You're going to see. Remember, If 1871, two guys came from England and created two corporations. The first is called the B.A.R. The B.A.R stands for British Accredited Registry. The second is called the USC, which stands for United States Corporation. Since then, all 50 states became a corporation. Corporations can't do anything about making law. They can make policy and code. So now the lawyers and the judges took the B.A.R. Anybody that took the B.A.R. here took something from Europe. And hence the reason taking out the original 13th Amendment. I'm sorry, I keep saying amendment. It's not amendment. Original Article 13 of the Constitution specifically took it out. And what it says, basically, is that anyone that accepts the title of nobility and receives foreign compensation without the written consent of Congress shall lose their citizenship. That's just a basic generic refresh. Now, you're going to have all of this reading here, and we're at page 13. And this is a very good read, guys. It's going to educate you. You do not want to let this go by. I'm going to go back up here in a minute, and we're going to just pull it down at the 5-second interval. Now here at page 22, which I know you can't pull it to page 22, but you can see where their little thing is, little bar is down here. Definitions of Black's Law. Everything you see in here is definitions copied and pasted from Black's Law. And this is sui juris. This is what you put on the end of your name, your full legal name, full lawful name. And as a result of all of this, you're going to go through this at each definition, and you're going to find this is coming from Black's Law, version 5, and you're going to get everything they've been doing, including human trafficking. Treason is the biggest. Oh, that's a big one. Collusion, you've been hearing that on the news. There's all kinds of stuff. But I'm about to go back up to the top and start over. You got kidnapping, when they take you off the street and they're forcing you for state statutes and not of commerce, and it's not the Constitution. That's kidnapping, guys. Just about everybody's in jail has taken off the streets. And here is the term for RICO. RICO is a big tamale. I'll read that. So right now, the RICO's at the very end of the deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm going to do the 5-second rule. And before I do that, I'm going to just read the top there. Give you 5 seconds on that. Go ahead and hit pause. Moving. Moving. Okay, now I'm just going to do about every 5 or 6 seconds and just move it. You just make sure you hit pause when you to stop me. I won't say anything from here out.